Hey, what's up guys? This is Chad from Better Life Reviews. Do you have this problem? You set your Osmo down and there it goes. Or maybe you want to mount a microphone, such as the Rode Video Micro, to your Osmo Mobile 2, but you're not really sure how to best do that. Well, today we're going to review this very simple L bracket and mini tripod set that's very inexpensive and adds a ton of functionality to your DJI Osmo Mobile 2 or really any device with a 1/4-inch tripod mount on the bottom. We're also going to talk about how to best mount up the microphone and how to get the best balancing and easy use out of these items. Now, if you like this video, make sure to like it, make sure to subscribe, and hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos. And let's get into it. Alright guys, so this kit comes with 2 items, and that's a mini tripod and an L bracket. And it currently goes for around $15 on Amazon, so it's a really good deal. Now, it can be actually kind of hard to find the right one, so I'm going to link these down below in the description, as well as the Osmo Mobile 2, the Rode Video Micro, and all the other things we talk about in this video. Alright, so this isn't rocket science obviously, but there's a 1/4-inch tripod mount in the bottom. You just screw this on, flip it open, and there you go. You have a very stable platform to rest your Osmo on the table. It's especially useful for things like time lapses, and especially like motion time lapses. It's very, very difficult or really impossible to hold it steady enough. Getting those, I've tried that actually. So this is really an essential thing for that. Makes a huge difference. And then if you do want to mount this also while using the L bracket, then this bracket screws onto here. It's a little hard to do standing here, but this will screw on. Give me a second here. So that screws on like that. And then the bottom of this, you also have a second tripod hole there as well. So you can screw that into here. And then you can use the L bracket as well as the mini tripod at one time. So you don't have to worry about actually taking this stuff off as well when you're using the mini tripod. So it all works together really well. And it comes together in this set. All right, so here you have this L bracket. So it's also adjustable as well, which is really cool. So you have it, very close there, and you can also move it far away like that. And then you have also on the top here like a rubber grip as well. It helps keep things very steady. And then you just tighten it down using this kind of knurled knob. Then here inside you have these kind of 2 cold shoe mounts. So one on the outside if you have like a bigger item or something you want to mount on the outside, and then this one here, which is probably better for most situations for like a microphone or something like that. So you can mount 2 different things simultaneously using that. And then also if you don't want to hold the actual Osmo grip for some reason as well, you can hold just this as well. So it's like a secondary grip to use it as well. And you can also use it to stabilize it. So it has a lot of functionality in just this one little thing. All right, so I won't lie to you guys that using a microphone while using the Osmo Mobile 2 in landscape mode is kind of hard, and that's because my microphone for my Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus is actually on the bottom here, which you can see is blocked. So is the charging port as well. So if I want to use a microphone while I'm using this, I have to kind of move that out. So I'm going to show you guys my best kind of available workaround to make it work with the Osmo Mobile 2, and this certainly helps to be able to have a place to mount your microphone. Now I could use something like the Rode Video Mic Me, but again, the problem is that the port to hook it into is here on the side. And if I were to flip my phone, then my camera is going to be behind this arm. So it makes it tricky for sure. Well, let me show you kind of what I do here by putting this tripod on. We can kind of balance things out here. All right, so we have the tripod on, makes it easy to also set this down as well. So we'll do that. And what I have to do then is to move my phone over in this mount. That will change the the way that it balances. It makes it more difficult for the Osmo to kind of balance the phone. Hey guys, so as one more quick aside here, I have noticed that this little mini tripod that comes with the L bracket is really nice and compact, but it can be a little bit small depending upon how much weight you're putting onto this L bracket and your general needs. Now I don't think you can get this bracket without the mini tripod, but I have picked up a couple other mini tripods, and these are kind of 3 of the best ones that I could find in terms of price, reliability, and size. So I'm going to link these down below in the description, as well as a 4th one that's kind of more of like just a very compact base as well. So if you guys can check that out if you want in the meantime. And I will be making a video of these mini tripods, and when I do make that video in a few weeks, I'll put that up in the cards, and I'll link it down below in the description as well. But make sure you are subscribed, and also by clicking that bell notification to be notified of when that video comes out. All right guys, so for mounting the Rode Video Micro, then we have 2 options. We can either mount it on top here, if you want to mount it towards you when you're using it, like that. You can see that's kind of close to this arm. That's one option that you could do. Or you can mount it further here on the side, so you have more available space to work with, but it's going to increase obviously your distance to the phone, from mounting this cable as well. So if I mount it up here, my distance to my phone is going to be smaller. I can try to squeeze this in here. You can see how it's pretty challenging to squeeze this in. So it requires, you know, at least that much distance, so I can mount this then against there. And it's not too bad. It will still hold my phone fairly securely in that position. And then I can use it, you know, with the microphone and while I'm balancing. It actually does a decent job of balancing it like that. Doesn't really appear to interfere with that. So that's probably a pretty good option to do that as well. Now there is this thing called a SC4 adapter. This is a TRRS to TRRS adapter. So this plug on the Rode Video Micro is going to have, you know, there's 2 lines. So that's a TRS. On a, you know, a pair of earphones you're going to use, that's going to have 3 lines. So that's TRRS. And that's what you think might be best to hook into a phone. Now I'll let you guys hear some audio samples right now of me trying it with and without this cable. And you can kind of compare for yourself what the difference is.
This is a test of the Rode Video Micro at 1 foot in a quiet room using the supplied patch cable with a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. All right, so this is the Rode Video Micro with the standard supplied cable and also using the SC4 TRS to TRRS adapter at a 1 foot distance, the same as when we didn't use the adapter. And it is hooked into the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, and we are also still using the same voice recorder app on the S8 Plus.
It works well just like this, and it also works well with the kind of adapter. And I'm going to link this down below as well. But I do think it has a little bit better sound with the adapter. It appears to me like a little bit more crisp or have a little bit more bass or range in the sound. But both of them really aren't bad, so you don't really need this. It's up to you. But another thing you can use this for as well is if you need to lengthen the distance of this cable, since it is going to move around a lot. That will pull a little bit there, you can see, onto that cable, which could maybe affect your stabilization. So if you do want to use this adapter, you're just going to want to plug the 3-line part into your phone. And then take this part of the standard cable, plug it into here, and then run this to your Rode Video Micro. As you can see there, you have a lot more slack. You have a lot more, you know, mobility in how far the phone can move without catching that cable. So it does kind of provide some dual functionality there, and it might improve your audio a little bit, and also allows you more space to move things around. And as you can see, that works pretty well as a setup here. I can hold this, and now I can talk, and I get good audio, and I can also use, this comes with like a little dead cat. So I can use that as well to kind of cut down on the wind noise and everything while I'm using this in kind of a vlogging style setup. As you can see, it works really well. I can set it down, pick it up, no problem. I can use this handle here if I want. I can use both to stabilize it better. So it's pretty sweet how it works. So I think you guys can do if you want is take like, it's kind of a little bit of a ghetto move here, but you can take like a stack of quarters, for instance, or some kind of other change, and you can just, you know, tape it all together. I'm using some black gaffer tape, but you can use like, you know, duct tape or whatever it is you have. And then you can tape that to the end of the Osmo Mobile 2. And this is basically what this is a counterweight. So that's going to then affect your, you know, your balance of how you're weighting this. So probably a little bit short there, but you see how it works. And if I do that, then it's going to, you know, it's going to provide more weight to this side to better balance this. And then you can move your phone if you want additionally. With my phone in particular, especially being in this orientation, it does tend to lead towards that side. So you can take away and add quarters to approximately equal, you know, the offset of the counterweight, and it's super inexpensive. You know, all you need is some tape and a couple chains you have lying around. So it's a pretty interesting solution to be able to kind of, you know, work around this problem of having this close distance here. And then also you can do that as well if you want to try to put in there some kind of a plug as well, which will then allow you to, you know, charge your phone via this port here in the back while you're actually using it. So overall, it works pretty well. It's slightly janky, but it works pretty well. All right, guys, so here you can see I put the phone into the portrait mode on the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. If you do want to know how to do that and how to balance it and everything, I'll link my video up above. But when you do this, you are going to have some issues if you haven't known that before, again, with the microphone. So it will work. However, the microphone cable, you know, going to the input again, even being a right angle, the phone typically would sit a little bit lower in this mount. So you have to raise it up a little bit higher than you typically would. Now, it seems okay. It seems like the gimbal is balancing my phone fine, even though it's not entirely balanced, you know, top to bottom in that way. That is a consideration. Also, if you use it with the rear-facing camera in this portrait mode, it's not really going to be the best situation for that, because you are going to have, as you move it, you will see the arm of the gimbal in the bottom part of your frame. So when you're using it in portrait mode, I would say that really you want to use only the front-facing camera, which is probably what you're going to use. It's really meant for vlogging style and all that. So if you want to do that, then you just triple tap the M button here, and just switch around, and there you'll see that I can see myself in portrait mode, and it works well, no problem. And of course, you're not blocking the camera because the camera's up there. So that works well. And as you can see, the tripod is working, just like it should, and the microphone goes there. So you have plenty of space. Now, if you want to turn this left and right, you should have enough room in that cable. That cable will also uncoil as well. However, again, if you wanted to use the adapter cable, you could. In which situation it would just be, longer. So just unplug this here, plug this into here, plug this into the phone, and there, we just have a longer cable basically to deal with. And you could actually even, what you could do then is put this cable actually behind here and sort of out of the way a little bit, or kind of at least tilted that direction, so that when you plug it in there, there's going to be, kind of, it'll interfere less. It'll kind of hang behind there a little bit. And if you want to change, the closeness of the microphone to the device, then all you do is just, undo this. It's a little hard to do when I'm standing up. You're just going to undo this a little bit, slide that in, make it closer. And there you have, it being closer to your mouth. You also could use, if you wanted some type of a bracket to actually, directionally mount that to your mouth. Or you could use, a bracket if you want. You could also mount here like a portable recorder if you wanted, like the Zoom H1 or H1N. Or you can mount a light if you want as well. You can mount like a small LED light as well to light yourself for vlogging at nighttime. So highly functional and really helpful to have these devices, these accessories. All right, so here in the setup, I have, the DJI Osmo Mobile 2. I'm able to do zoom function here if I want. I'm able to move it left, right, up, and down. I'm also able to use the mode to follow myself if I want as well. I can use active track on this by using the front-facing camera. I have a high-quality microphone here, which is going to give a much better sound, especially with this, kind of dead kitten wind muff. It's going to give much better sound outdoor and really cut down that wind, as opposed to the inboard microphone on the phone. And of course, we have a second grip here we can use to grip it and hold it really steady if we want to. And then we have this tripod, which makes it very easy to set down. So it's a really great setup to get something similar to this, but a little bit higher quality. You're talking about, $500 to $1,000 for a DSLR camera, another $600 for a gimbal to balance that. If you want to get a Rode, Video Mic Pro, that's another $300, $250. So really can add up quickly. So this is a pretty manageable setup. You probably already have a phone. This Rode Video Micro is $60. This stand and L bracket is around $16. And of course, the DJI Osmo Mobile 2 retails for around $130 right now. So for $130 plus $30, so that's $160 plus another $60. So that is $220 plus, of course, your phone. And if you get this cable, it's another 15 bucks. You have a very highly functional vlogging setup that, compares at least to most degrees with something that costs, $1,000 to $2,000 at least. All right, so as you can see, this is working pretty well. For a vlogging setup, it's really portable and pretty inexpensive for what it is. However, if you really want to go to the next level, what you could do then is download the Filmic Pro app. And that's going to give you a lot of extra features, manual control of your camera. And then if you upgrade, you can even get access to color grading, log functions, things like that. So you really can take this to a pretty high level. Of course, not like, a production level, of Hollywood or anything like that. But if you're doing YouTube videos and things of that nature, this is certainly a very affordable, highly flexible, and very mobile setup you can use. And it's also not super heavy either. All right, so I'm actually running really low on battery on my camera, but quickly I want to do a comparison of what it sounds like with this Rode Video Micro, so you can get some audio sounds. So we're going to go ahead and hit record. And right now I'm recording audio on my phone, on the Osmo Mobile 2, using the Rode Video Micro at about 2.5 feet from my face. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and disconnect this cable. All right, so I'm in the same position now. This is the cell phone audio without any external mic on the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Hey guys, so what I realized is that I had addressed phones that have an audio jack, but not phones that do not have an audio jack, specifically phones like the newer iPhones that only can connect to something by Bluetooth or by using a headphone splitter adapter. So I looked and looked and looked for a long time. The best solution I come up with is this adapter right here. that has two different ports. So this is a lightning port here, has a 90-degree angle, and then it has a headphone port here as well that can connect to your lightning to 3.5 millimeter cable. And then it has, and on the other side, a port that you can also charge from. So this allows you to charge if you want. This cable is kind of long, but allows you to charge there from the Osmo while you're using it if you want. And then also export from here by a 3.5 millimeter cable going into here. And you can use like a Rode Video Micro or any kind of microphone you want. So that's really the best solution I can find. It does still take a little bit of space here, but it's going to be a lot better than if this was hanging down. It's really going to get in the way more. You could potentially flip the phone around as well, which I tried to do for a while tonight. And the phone actually will invert the video for you directly and put this part up top. However, I had problems with the cable and balancing, that kind of stuff. This here is sort of tight as well, and you're probably going to get better audio too if you use this Rode adapter. So I'm going to link all the stuff down below. This will also give you a little bit more space to work with here in terms of moving the phone around on the gimbal. So I probably recommend that you get that as well. So then you have some extra cable. There is some potential for this cable to rub and make some noise as you use the gimbal. So that's another kind of sacrifice or potential con with this. You have to consider whether or not that's going to happen. The microphone itself, is going to be on a shock mount, so it shouldn't create any kind of noise, and probably it's going to be fine because this, this when it's mounted to a DSLR, like a camera, doesn't really create any noise. It's a shielded cable, so probably you're going to be okay. But there is the potential there to create some extra noise. All right, guys, this is a test of the adapter and also the Rode Video Micro. So this is an iPhone 7 Plus. I'm using that little black adapter, the little kind of right angle adapter, then going to the lightning to 3.5 millimeter cable, and then going to the Rode TRRS to TRRS adapter, and then finally going to the Rode Video Micro. So this is how the sound sounds with that setup on the iPhone 7 Plus in the normal camera app. All right, so it's the same position, same distance away at about 1.5 feet, arm's length. And this is just the internal microphone on the iPhone 7 Plus. So what do you guys think? Does this sound a lot worse than the Rode Video Micro, or does it sound similar? You also have to consider that I'm not outside where I have a lot of wind and other stuff. This is just an inside in the quiet environment. All right, so that's one solution to the problem potentially. There's actually several other solutions though. There's many solutions potentially. So another solution is to use a Bluetooth pair of headphones with a microphone that's equipped. So like the AirPods are a really, a good choice. They have pretty good audio. These obviously are pretty expensive. But what you can do then is just use, really you probably only need one. You put the AirPod in and then just connect to your phone. You don't need any of this other stuff then, because this will become your Bluetooth audio source for your video. So you can use any Bluetooth headphones or any Bluetooth, like a headset or something like that, if you don't mind having this in your video. If you do mind having it in your video, then this is not a good solution for you. If you're female, you could possibly hide the AirPods or something underneath your hair. Although the potential is that it could rub against that as well and then cause more problems in that way. But that is one solution to kind of covering that up, but still being able to use the Bluetooth audio source. So especially if you buy a cheaper Bluetooth headset, that's actually going to be a pretty good, solution to your problem as far as being completely untethered from your phone and also still getting decent quality audio. It's going to be, better than having, just talking directly to your phone, especially at a longer distance from your phone. But it's not completely optimal, in terms of quality and that kind of stuff. All right, so this is a test of the Galaxy S8 using the AirPods as a microphone, seeing what they're going to sound like. I'm holding the phone at arm length about 1.5 feet away from my face. So this is what's going to sound like using the AirPods as a microphone. And this is what it sounds like when you use just one AirPod as a microphone in my left ear, as opposed to using both AirPods, and see if there's a difference in what you hear with only using one. You could also use any kind of a headset that's adaptable to a phone. So if you had an audio jack, you would just plug in any pair of earphones that has a microphone on them. But so talking about the iPhone here, then what you could do is plug in, instead of this whole thing, you could plug in like a pair of headphones into this adapter, any kind you have, or you could plug in a pair of lightning headphones. And then you can use the microphone in this as your microphone while you're talking, again, if you don't mind having that there. And now if you're going to be like taping yourself and doing, selfie videos and like Instagram stories and that kind of stuff, then it's probably not going to be the best solution for you. It just depends on whether or not you mind having that, in your video, or if you're actually going to be videoing yourself or videoing someone else as well. So this will also work, on that note, it'll work in the horizontal orientation as well. So same thing, it's just going to have, this smaller distance. And you could also counterweight, like I said. So I counterweighted actually tonight in the horizontal orientation with some coins again. So I taped actually 6 quarters together. Now this is the iPhone 7 Plus. This is a pretty heavy phone, and I do notice that it's a little tougher to keep balance and that kind of stuff. So I taped 6 quarters together and then secured it to the end of this, and that works pretty well as far as a very cheap and inexpensive counterweight. But on that note again, if you do use headphones, you should actually, although don't do this and blame me, you should be able to cut off the end of this headphone here above where the microphone is, this part, and then also cut off this entire thing here, and then put this like underneath your shirt or tape it to your shirt, something like that, and still use just the microphone. Should be pretty good for that as well. So you could use, again, cheaper microphones if you want on another pair of headphones that you have, even just to try it out and see if it works for you in that way. And then there's actually other things too. You could use a Bluetooth audio source. So Sony makes a pair of like Bluetooth transmitters and receivers. One gets plugged into the microphone and one gets plugged into your phone. It does still require a physical connection there. But that then allows you to separate your phone from the microphone. So you have a Bluetooth transmitter that the microphone plugs into, that goes on your body, and you have a Bluetooth transmitter that plugs into the phone, into the audio jack, and then those two communicate and relay audio to your phone. However, that's pretty expensive. It's about $150 or so, and it doesn't completely solve the problem of having this connection here and that kind of stuff. So probably not the best solution, but it is one solution. I do want to see if it's possible to plug like a Rode Video Micro, for instance, into a like a Bluetooth receiver or transmitter, like this one you use for like a car similarly, and then see if you can relay the audio from this by Bluetooth to your phone. However, I did some research about that and I haven't been able to find any solid evidence that's actually going to work. And there is potential there for that, just not to work at all. And then also there is, a lot of times delay with Bluetooth audio and that kind of stuff. So your lips could be out of sync with a video and that kind of stuff as well. So I'm not sure about that right now. And then probably finally here, what you can do then is use a completely separate audio source and sync your video up in like post. If you're like a little more advanced person and you're doing this a little more seriously, then, just like you would with any other camera, potential then is to use something like a Zoom H1, which is a voice recorder. This one is the older model. There's an H1N now. But this is actually a battery-powered voice recorder. And then what you can do is then put this really anywhere. You can put this on your body if you wanted to. And then run like a lavalier microphone into this, in the line in. And actually then you can also monitor the audio through the line out as well and see how it sounds before you're recording or as you're recording. Or what you can do then is put this also, if you don't want to have it on your body, you can put it on the, on this kind of L bracket thing we have here as well. So you can just mount it like here, for instance, or in the other one. And then, you'd be able to talk to yourself here. As you're talking, you could use this as your recorder. And it just records to like a micro SD card. So it's completely, again, independent of the phone. It's not attached to the phone at all. You're just going to sync that up in post-production. So if you have like Adobe Premiere Pro, you put the video in, you put the audio in, and you sync them. You hit like sync, it syncs them together, and it's pretty simple. Otherwise, you would need to match like audio waveforms or get some kind of software. So that is a little bit more of an advanced feature, but it is definitely a way to do that fairly inexpensively, to get a high quality of audio, and to not have to worry about all these cables and that kind of stuff. Use something like this is like a phone windscreen. You can put this one here as well if you want to cut down on some of the audio noise. And then if you really want to get a little more advanced here, then what you could do is use something like the Rode Video Micro, and then you could just hook that into the line-in port of your recorder here. And then you're essentially using both of these. So you're using the microphone from the Rode Video Micro, which also has a windshield, and you're using kind of like the processor in the Zoom to record the audio. And you're getting high quality of audio. It's going to be shielded from the wind and pretty portable as well. So again, you can use this recorder separately on your body by using something, using, like a lavalier microphone. And you can, when you do that, then you can go, any distance from your phone, anywhere you want to go. You don't even have to have your phone. And you can record audio completely separately if you want, and then sync those two up. So it gives you a lot of freedom. It just requires more work kind of in that end part. So I hope that was a helpful thing for you guys to talk about. I did want to answer that question, of how you can use a microphone on an Osmo or on a similar gimbal, when you don't have that 3.5 millimeter port. So it's definitely not the easiest thing. It's definitely not the most convenient thing. So you have to, think to yourself, is it worth that extra effort to get the audio to my phone, or do you just want to use, the inbuilt microphone on the phone? So something to think about. Again, all the stuff is linked in the description. I'll put some other stuff as well, adapters and microphones and Bluetooth receiver, anything I can think of pretty much that I can find. I'll put down in the description for you guys to check out, as well as, of course, this adapter here. This is the highest rated one I could find. They all look very similar, but this is the best rated one that I could find. It's like $16, not bad. So check that out if you'd like to. Hope you guys did like this video. Please check out my channel. Please subscribe and click the bell for notifications of new videos if you feel like doing that. Please like this video if you did like it. Check out all the social media channels, betterlifereviews.com as well. And actually, if I get enough interest, you guys write me some comments. I'll try to, create a list of all the products and everything, and write like a blog with lists and pictures and that kind of stuff, and put that on the website as well. So let me know if you would like that. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.